Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us for your English News Session program on Radio Television of Burkina Faso from Ouagadougou. President of Faso was at the hospital of the Sangoulé Lamizana Army Barrack on February 25th in Ouagadougou. President Paul-Henri Sandaogo Damiba went to pay a visit to the soldiers wounded on the terrorism battlefield. The head of state says he's around to see how those war wounded are doing. He greeted the commitment of the health staff and he encouraged them to keep on ensuring medical care to the injured soldiers. An explosion happened in a gold digging mining in Gongombori area in Gawa City in the south to southwest area of Burkina Faso. 63 miners were reported to be killed. The explosion was followed by a fire. The causes of that explosion are not known for the time being, but according to some sources, it's due to the explosion of chemical products used in minings. The prosecutor of the Gawa City initiated some investigations to know more on the causes of that catastrophe. Following the explosion, the MPSR, the country's authorities, sent a delegation on the mining site of the village. On the explosion place, the Lieutenant Colonel Dabanao, the head of the delegation, and his team were able to measure the extent of the damage. After the mining site, the delegation went to the local hospital to express the compassion and the solidarity of the high authorities to the wounded of the explosion. A delegation of the mining department conducted by the Secretary General also paid a visit to these wounded people at the local hospital of Gawa City. The West African Power Pool launched on February the 22nd in Niamey, the North Coast Power Interconnection Project. The project aims at connecting Burkina Faso, Niger, Benin, Togo, and to Nigeria in order to share power in the West African region. The interconnection power was officially launched by the Niger President Mohamed Bazoum and the Ghanaian President Nana Akufo-Addo, the ECOWAS chairman. The North Coast is about 330 kilovolts of 175 kilometers long. The project is initiated by the African head of state to face the energy crisis in West Africa. The EU, the French Development Bank, and the African Development Bank are financing the North Coast Power Interconnection Project that is expected to start working in 2024. I invite you to listen to the TCN, the transmission company of Nigeria's Director General, who is one of the project officials.
The government of Nigeria, Niger, Togo, Benin, and Burkina Faso, through their collaborative efforts, have developed a sub-regional interconnection project referred to as 33 kV WAP North Coast project, which is considered as one of the priority projects in the infrastructure program of the WAP, and as already ascended by the ECOWAS head of state and government in their approval in December 2018 of the 2019 to 2033 ECOWAS master plan for the development of regional generation and transmission infrastructure. The North Coast project involved the construction of approximately 875 kilometers of 330 kV and 24 kilometers of 225 kV transmission line. The project will also involve the electrification of rural communities located within a 5-kilometer radius on both sides of the line, and the implementation of several environmental and social mitigation measures. These include, among others, the implementation of a resettlement action plan to provide compensation for persons and communities affected by the project. In addition, the North Coast project will facilitate efficient energy trade in the sub-region. It will provide technical assistance to foster efficient commercial exchange agreement among its participants and expand access to population along the transmission line. Nowadays, the limited access to electricity as well as the endemic electricity shortages constitute a bottleneck to the social economic development of ECOWAS member states. 2/3 of the sub-Saharan African population, approximately 600 million people, are without access to electricity. Despite the region's significant endowment of natural resources, the lack of reliable and affordable electricity significantly constrains economic activity and growth in these countries and affects disproportionately the poorest segment of the population of the sub-region.
In the margin of the North Coast Power Interconnection Project launching, the energy, the defense, and the security ministers of the North Coast member countries held a meeting in Niamey over the security concern related to the project. The interconnection line is crossing areas occupied by terrorism in Burkina, in Niger, and in some areas of Nigeria. And the meeting aims at drawing the attention of the African leaders in the necessity of making these areas safer for the project to be able to implement. The West African Power Pool Secretary General says they are happy about the conclusion of that meeting. I invite you to listen to the West African Power Pool Secretary General on the meeting.
By organizing this meeting today, we aim at really present the project to our authorities, the ministers in charge of energy, and also those in charge of defense and security in the state, because you know yourself when you saw the route or the line, it is really, this line is going through a region from Niger to Burkina Faso and even Niger to Nigeria. The region is not safe as of now. There are security issues, there are jihadism and other banditism and other things there. And we need to secure the region. That is the whole area where we will be working. And this is why we made this meeting, first to show to the ministers of defense we are ready to start the work, and we need them to do something to ensure the security in the areas. And hopefully they understood our call and they made commitment to really put in place security, to implement security, to have an area of working secure, to allow our people to go through their work. The aim of this project is really to to transmit energy from Nigeria, wherever generation is done at a lower cost, to countries like Niger, like Burkina Faso, like Benin. But apart from that, North Coast is going into our grid, the West African grid, high voltage grid, and coming to this grid, it will strengthen the grid itself. And then by strengthening the grid, it will allow us to make the trade with more security.
The chairman of the Constitutional Council of Burkina Faso died on the 19th of February in Paris. Kassoum Kambou was taken in a French hospital for curing. The body arrived at the international airport of Ouagadougou yesterday, Friday. Family members, French officials, and his colleagues were around at the international airport of Ouagadougou to welcome the deceased person. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned to Radio Television of Burkina Faso to enjoy your weekend. See you next time and take care.